What would you do if the life you built on love and sacrifice crumbled in a single confession? Elena stood at the edge of her world, or what was left of it, staring at the papers on the kitchen table. The numbers blurred. $150,000. A sum that had drained her savings, her dreams, her future. She'd paid it all to save her husband's family from ruin, believing it was her duty as his wife. The weight of that choice pressed against her chest, but it was nothing compared to the betrayal that followed. She'd met Daniel 10 years ago, his easy smile and quiet confidence drawing her in like a moth to a flame. He was a dreamer, always talking about the life they'd build together, a cozy house, kids, maybe a dog. But dreams don't pay bills, and Daniel's family carried a shadow. A failing business, bad loans, and debts piling up like storm clouds. When his father fell ill, the calls from creditors became relentless. Elena saw the shame in Daniel's eyes, the way he avoided her gaze when the phone rang. So she stepped in. She liquidated her inheritance, cashed out her 401k, and worked extra shifts at the hospital. Every dollar she earned went to his family's debt, because love, she thought, meant sacrifice. For 2 years she carried the burden alone. Daniel promised they'd rebuild, that he'd make it up to her. She believed him. She always did. Until that night. It was late, the kind of quiet that amplifies every sound, the creak of the floor, the drip of the faucet, his uneven breaths as he sat across from her. "Elena," he said, his voice barely a whisper. "I need to tell you something." Her stomach twisted. She knew that tone, the one that carried secrets too heavy to stay buried. "I've been seeing someone else. For a year." The world tilted. A year. While she worked nights, while she sold her mother's jewelry to cover his family's mistakes, he'd been building a life with another woman. Her name was Claire, a coworker, someone Elena had met at a company picnic. The betrayal wasn't just the affair, it was the lies, the stolen moments, the way he'd let her pour everything into his family while he gave nothing back. Elena didn't scream. She didn't cry. She sat frozen as Daniel unraveled, his excuses spilling out like cheap wine. "It didn't mean anything," he said. "I was stressed. I didn't know how to handle it." She wanted to laugh at the absurdity. Handle it? She'd handled everything, his family's debt, his insecurities, their life. And now this. The next morning she called a lawyer. Not for revenge but for clarity. She needed to know her options, to reclaim the pieces of herself she'd given away. The lawyer was blunt. The debt she'd paid was marital property, but Daniel's infidelity could sway a judge. Elena didn't want his money, she wanted justice. She wanted him to feel the weight of his choices. Word spread fast in their small town. Daniel's affair wasn't a secret anymore. Claire's husband made sure of that. He confronted Daniel at the auto shop where he worked, a public spectacle that left Daniel red-faced and stammering. Social media lit up with gossip, each post a dagger to his reputation. Elena didn't need to say a word. His own actions buried him. Friends stopped calling him. His boss demoted him. His family, the ones Elena had saved, turned their backs, ashamed of the son who'd betrayed the woman who'd given everything. Elena moved out, renting a small apartment with a view of the ocean. It wasn't much, but it was hers. She started painting again, something she hadn't done since college. Each brushstroke felt like a step toward herself, the woman she'd been before she poured her soul into someone else. She didn't hate Daniel, she pitied him. He'd lost more than a wife. He'd lost his dignity, his community, his place in the world. One evening as she walked along the cliffs near her apartment, the wind carrying the salt of the sea, she thought about forgiveness. Not for Daniel but for herself. She'd made mistakes, trusting too much, giving too much, but those choices didn't define her. They'd shaped her, yes, but they'd also taught her strength. She'd paid $150,000 to save a family that wasn't hers, only to learn that the real cost was her own heart. And yet she was still standing. The town still whispered about Daniel, about the man who'd had it all and threw it away. But Elena? She was no longer the woman who'd sacrificed everything. She was the woman who'd survived, who'd rebuilt from the ashes of betrayal. And as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in shades of fire, she knew one thing for certain. She was enough.